Hello everyone, welcome to Extensions Academy. In this video, we will do a quick analysis of a position where we can apply the piece value concept that we learned in the prior video and apply it to make a fruitful exchange, which means you can convert it to your own material gain or advantage. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can think of what are the permutation and combinations, or what are the possible available captures on the board, both from the white and black perspective. All right. So white, let's start with pieces that can be in contact. So queen, in this case, can actually capture rook, which is 5 points, but queen is 9 points, as we know. So queen takes rook, and then black rook is supporting that rook, so this rook can capture back. So you end up giving 9 points for 5 points, and you lose 4 points. 9 minus 5, 4. So certainly you don't want to perform that trade. Another option is for queen to capture this knight, but the knight is being supported by rook. Again, queen is 9 points, and the knight is 3 points. So 9 minus 3, it's 6. We definitely do not want to trade queen for a lower value piece. There's another interesting option where queen is in contact, being in same diagonal with the black's queen. Now this exchange can certainly be performed because they are equal in value. 9 points you're giving to acquire 9 points. It certainly doesn't hurt. So that is a possible exchange to perform. Does this bishop capture? Yes, it does attack the rook. So definitely you can give a 3 points for 5 points. That looks profitable. But just keep in mind, rook can capture it back. So you're giving a 3 point for 5 points. You still get 2 points. And then queen can capture it back. So let's say bishop captures rook. Then rook can capture the bishop. And then queen can capture the rook. So we end up trading a bishop for 2 rooks, which are 5 points each. So 5 plus 5, 10. So 3 points given and taken 10 points. So you get 7 points extra, which is a good deal. You could certainly do that. Now, this bishop is also attacking the queen. That also sounds like a promising deal. So you have 3 points to give, and you have 9 points to take. So 6 points difference. So either you could perform this trade or exchange, where you give 3 points and get 6 points and get 9 points, which means 6 points profit. Or you could give this bishop and in exchange of 2 rooks, where bishop takes rook, rook takes bishop, and then queen takes rook. So you would end up gaining there also 10 minus 3, that is 7. So technically speaking, this might be a better deal than just exchanging the bishop for the queen, so that you can get where you can only get 6 points. So in this position, I would recommend you could either go to this. So rook captures back, queen captures, and you actually won 7 points, giving the 3-pointer bishop for 2 rooks, which are 10 points total. So 10 minus 3, 7 points. And now a couple of things are hanging. This rook is attacking the knight, and queen is also attacking the knight. So bishop is attacking the queen. So now black needs to definitely take care of this queen first. Maybe it can move to this square so that it can not only get away from bishop's attacking square, but at the same time, it can defend this knight. Although, unfortunately, the support is not enough because 2 pieces are attacking this knight, and only 1 piece is defending or supporting this knight. So I could take it with the rook or with the queen, no matter. And black cannot take the rook because queen can take it back. So this will be a favorable position and exchange for white. So I hope you can understand how we could apply piece values when we actually look for exchanging or trading pieces. Let's look into another position, a hypothetical position where let's say we have a knight and this knight is in a position to capture a few pieces of black. So as you can see, this knight basically can attack 3 pieces at the same time. So how would you decide which piece to go after? Again, you need to think about the point system that you learned. So knight is 3 points, rook is 5 points, queen is 9 points, and bishop is a 3 point. So if you trade the bishop, you only get for 3 points. And let's say if you trade for the rook, then you get 5 points, and here you get the 9 points. So the most profitable exchange or deal here is to capture the queen. Here is another position. In this case, it's black to move. And as you can see, there's an annoying white knight sitting on the d5 square. How would you get rid of this knight? I want you to pause the video and take a moment and think, calculate the piece exchanges you can make in the scenario by keeping in perspective the value of the pieces. All right. So in this case, black could easily perform rook capturing the knight because a rook is 5 points and knight is 3 points. But then this knight is supported by this bishop. So rook captures knight, bishop captures the rook back. So you give it 5 points and you get a 3 point. But then you also try to capture the bishop with the other rook. So here is how it's going to work. Rook captures knight, you got a 3 point. And then white captures the rook back, so you lose a 5 point. So now you are 2 points minus. But then the rook can actually capture back this bishop. So you have again gained a 3 point. So you are 1 point extra. In other words, you traded in a rook for 2 pieces, and that's considered to be a positive scenario. 5 points for 2 pieces. So 5 points for 3 plus 3, 6, 2 pieces, which is a profitable scenario. Let's take another example where, say, you have a queen and there are 2 rooks attacking the queen, and you have it supported. So in this case, it's okay for black to give up the 2 rooks to get a queen because 2 rooks is 5 points. And then you could gain 1 point extra. So 2 rook is 10 points and 1 queen is just 9 points. However, you may feel like queen is more mightier as it can control more squares in the board than the 2 rooks can. But theoretically, it's possible to exchange a queen for 2 rooks. There's another side of deal where a queen could be very well exchanged for 3 pieces, 3 minor pieces. So in this case, I would say a queen given for, let's say, a bishop, a knight, and a bishop, or maybe 2 knights and 1 bishop, doesn't matter. But they are 3 points each. So you will have 9 points here. 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 points traded for a queen. So technically, you can exchange a queen for 3 pieces, and they're considered to be equal. Here's another example. As you can see, white knight is in trouble. It's been attacked by the rook, and there's no support, so white knight is hanging. Let's evaluate the squares it can move. And the goal is there a way you can protect as white or defend this knight from the rook's attack? Or do you really have to, since you're anyways losing the piece, do you have to do something like capture a pawn and trade or exchange this 3 points worth of knight to a 1 point pawn? Because anyways you're losing that piece, so better why not get a point instead? Is that the situation, or do you really have a way to defend this knight? So go ahead, pause the video and think for a second. All right, assuming you found it, this knight doesn't have a lot of options to go. Let's start evaluating its squares it can move. So let's say this knight could go to this square, but king is attacking it. Black knight is defending the square, so if knight jumps, the knight can capture. And the knight cannot go certainly to this square because black's pawn is guarding the square. So if knight goes back, pawn can simply capture. So that's not working for us. The other square is here, but see who is attacking that square. It's guarded by the black's bishop in the white color square. So if knight goes here, bishop can simply capture it for free. And then this square is preoccupied by its own pawn, white's own pawn. So knight cannot obviously bump on this one. And the last square left behind is this. But again, that square is controlled well by this knight, this rook, and this bishop. So there's no way you can protect the knight. Unless there's a simple move on the board where you could leave this knight behind and yet support it. Yes, you may have guessed it right. It's the pawn push move. So when you move this pawn one step further, remember the pawns support diagonally. So in this case, it can support this knight. Now the rook cannot capture the knight. If rook captures knight, then pawn will capture back the knight. So you're giving 5 points as black for a 3-pointer. And then since white can capture it back, black loses 2 points, 5 minus 3, 2. So it's a loss exchange deal. So that's how you can get out of this position. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got more practical examples of how to utilize the value concept for each pieces in a real game when you're after capturing opponent's piece or trying to calculate for a trade or an exchange. That's all for this tutorial. If you have time, please join me next video. Thank you.